Hey guys, welcome to first proper kind of video, decent kind of video of our channel. My name's Charlie, I'm here at TaiLords, and I'm going to just tell you a bit of a progress update of where we are on the V5 powered Volkswagen Up that we are currently building. I'm not very good at this and I've not edited very many videos before, so this probably will be terrible, so apologies in advance, but please hit that like and subscribe button and all the other stuff that all the other YouTubers tell you to do. Thank you. Drive shafts and everything's all bolted up, so it's now at the height it will be able to go down the road at. As you can see, my garage isn't massive, I haven't got a load of room, so everything's a bit tight and fun in here. But yeah, so that's pretty much the kind of right height we're going to be getting. Fairly low to the ground still, but not that much more drastic than it is. That is with the suspension wound all the way up, but still using the stock factory spring settings. As you can imagine, the springs themselves are due to only hold this kind of engine, a little 1 litre 3-cylinder, and has now got a 5-cylinder 2.3 litre engine. As you can tell, the weight difference in that is obviously what causes the car to be sitting as low as it is. But yeah, and since I've had it jacked up on axle stands for the last 6 months, putting it down on the floor makes it seem like the lowest car I've ever seen in my entire life. It's really not, but it's fairly low. Just give a run through on what exactly we've had to do up to this point. In terms of it, when we had my main man Zach and Adrian and Goose who came down over September, we managed to smash out the getting the engine mounted itself. All that a long time ago. What we basically had to do was cut out and make a bit of angle, weld it onto the chassis rails to get rid of all the rest of the stuff, and then custom make our own mount, which luckily I work at a fabrication company, and we managed to smash that out on the CNC plasma cutter and water jet machine. Cut that all out and got it all bent up and work, and that's how that's mounted on that side, purely because we just don't have the room. As you can see, there is not a lot of room between the engine and the chassis rails. When you come over to the gearbox side, it's even tighter. Got a lot of stuff all going on, a lot of wiring. It looks a mess, but it is actually organised in some sense or another. Same thing, we had to create another little box section, just a little bit of angle just to bolt that on, and we managed to use a stock mounting system. But as you can see from down here, if I can move that wire in the way and if it focuses, roughly you've probably got maybe 5mm of room between the chassis and the edge of the gearbox. It's quite a tight fit. The drive shafts themselves, massive shout out to the guys at work. So in terms of it, we're actually using the complete stock system, stock mounting system itself. All this side, this part is obviously stock. The only bit that's custom is that, which I will try and get uploaded, some photos onto the video to show how they were cut out on the water jet that I operate at work. The other side, we are literally completely stock and factory. That is how you would find it in the Mark IV Golf platform car that this comes out of. Apart from that, surprisingly enough, people will be shocked to find at the back of the engine there is actually quite a bit of room. So in terms of it, plans to look to go to turbo at some point in the future may still be an option, and in a car that will weigh, well, from factory this car weighs about a ton. It should weigh probably just over a ton now, I would imagine, maybe a little bit less with all the interior stripped out. So it should be pretty rowdy in a car that's got on an engine that's got 170 brake horsepower to start with. Hopefully we'll get that mapped to get a little bit more out of it, and then obviously eventually turbo. It should be pretty fun. So yeah, so a lot of the bits that we need to do, major bits of the car that we need to do, are now complete. We're just doing the sort of last few fiddly bits really. It's now in a position where in theory it could drive. The only real issue we have is that the factory throttle pedal is a reactive throttle pedal, and that doesn't work with how the V5 is wired up. I think the problem we've got here is we've got 2013 body shell and a car that's, well, an engine that's come out of the car from about 2002, 2003. So the problem with that is that despite the fact that my good friend Goose is an electrical wizard and has somehow managed to wire it together to the point where the windows work, the radio's working, everything else in the car works completely fine, it's turned off the key, doesn't need any other kind of thing required to get this car going, the throttle pedal has to be from a Mark IV Golf, which means that unfortunately they mount slightly differently to how they do on the up. So I'm going to have to get a plate made and get that welded on at work. It's no real hardship, it's just a case of getting the car to work at some point when obviously we're out of this quarantine and lockdown and everything that's going on in the wonderful world at the moment. Apart from that, we've got to figure out the coolant system, which I'm going to be planning to do whilst we're on this lockdown. I can ferry myself away in the garage for a little bit and try and get everything completed. I've got to readjust the brakes, so they've got to be rebled once I've connected back up the systems after we've removed the ABS pump. Other than that, really we've got to mount the seat and then it's down to cosmetic. Probably at the moment, as you saw earlier, the car's riding quite low, just for ease of access, trying to get it on the trailer and also trying to get the drag slicks on it. I may have to look to put Mark IV Golf springs in, because I believe that the coilover sizes off of the up and off of the Golf are the same. If you get the same set of coilovers, generally they're the same kind of barrel internal diameter of the spring. So the plan is to see if I can get larger, slightly heavier weight springs that are used to holding a certain weight, and if they are, and I can get that sorted, then obviously I can get them on and the car itself will sit higher, hold the weight better, because at the moment it's low, it looks good, which is great, but it's almost too low for what it needs to be, especially with the wheels I'm going to be putting on. The tyres are huge, they are 13, well, on a 13-inch rim, but they're 24.5-inch tyres by 9 inches wide, so it's a large tyre. In effect, they're probably, as they are at the moment, completely flat whilst they're being stored. They are the same size diameter as the 17-inch rims are mounted to the wheels on the car itself. So there's quite a lot of difference in that, and obviously with the ripple, you don't really want to be turning at high speed when it's front-wheel drive like it is. Turning at high speed and cutting grooves out because your arches are too low. So there's a few things to fettle around with, but we're majorly over the hump and we're getting to the point where we're now nearly there. The exhaust itself, I've been getting guys at work to help out with that on their off time and during lunches and things like that, so I can't thank them enough. That's nearly completed. We've worked out what we're doing. The downpipe's now done, just needs to drill and weld on the plug for the lambda sensor on the downpipe. The rear section I've brought home with me and have test fit that, so that just needs to be fully welded up. Once that's complete, literally we're putting in a centre section, and then that is the exhaust completed and done. We may have to obviously adjust the tailpipe because of how we're going to have it mounting, rather than it going all the way to the back of the car due to all the time and effort of everything that has to go through and going over the rear beam. We're probably going to get it so it exits the car somewhere underneath, just sort of past the fuel tank really is the only thing we're worried about in case it ever spits any flames. But we need to obviously be aware that the car is low still, and obviously getting it on and off of a trailer or getting it on and off a dyno, we don't want to be to the point where the exhaust is touching the ground and bottoming out, so I may have to shorten that slightly, but nothing an angle grinder can't fix. But yeah, apart from that, we are nearly there. I don't want to jinx it by saying we're nearly there, because in theory, if we were meant to be racing on the 10th of April, if all this virus wasn't happened, then I don't think I'd have quite made that. So I'm sad about it, but it's given me enough time to make sure that the car's going to be fully ready and get everything smashed out of the park. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say today. I hope the video Hope you all like the video, and yeah, please like and share it, and we'll try and keep you updated as I've got more progress. If you also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you'll get to see more of our progress updates as we put them on there more regularly than we do the YouTube, but we're trying to use it more. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Three, two, one.